The attempt to weaponize the term genocide against Israel in the present context does more than tell the court a grossly distorted story. And it does more than empty the word of its unique force and special meaning.
Israel and South Africa have gone head-to-head on the second day of emergency hearings at the International Courts of Justice in The Hague over accusations that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Israel has previously rejected the allegation of genocide, calling it baseless, and defended its actions in court as that of self-defense. But what actually is the case, and why is South Africa getting involved? South Africa brought the case to the ICJ as it alleges Israel is committing genocide against Palestinians in Gaza in the wake of Hamas's attacks on October 7. This refers to both what Israel is actively doing, such as carrying out airstrikes, and what it is allegedly failing to do, such as preventing harm to civilians. Under international law, genocide is defined as committing one or more acts with the intention to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. Since the conflict began, it is claimed more than 1,200 Israeli lives have been lost, and over 23,000 Palestinians have been killed by the IDF. So why is specifically South Africa speaking out? The country has been highly critical of Israel's military operation in Gaza, and says it has an obligation to act under the UN's 1948 Genocide Convention.
The violence and the destruction in Palestine and Israel did not begin on the 7th of October 2023. The Palestinians have experienced systematic oppression and violence for the last 76 years.
The governing African National Congress also has a long history of solidarity with the Palestinian cause, as it sees parallels with its own country's struggle against apartheid. But Israel has fought back against these claims.
If there is a concern about the obligations of states under the Genocide Convention, then it is in relation to their responsibilities to act against Hamas's proudly declared agenda of annihilation.
In the hearing, Israel's legal advisor for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Tal Becker, said South Africa has put forward a distorted factual and legal picture, and that its arguments ignored the events of October 7th. Israel's legal team argued that Hamas is responsible for starting the war with its attack, and this gives Israel the right to self-defense while complying with international humanitarian law. Israel also argued that South Africa's claims lack credibility due to the country's close ties with Hamas. So what happens next? South Africa wants the ICJ to order Israel to immediately suspend its military operations in and against Gaza. But it would also need to win over the 15 judges to do so. Seeing as Tal Becker said ending military operations in Gaza is an unconscionable request, it's highly likely Israel would not comply with such an order, and it is essentially unenforceable. We've seen this before in 2022, when Russia was ordered by the ICJ to cease military action in Ukraine, but this was ignored. A ruling on whether to suspend military action in Gaza could be reached by the ICJ in a few weeks. However, a final ruling could take years.